world. He rejected Trump's calls for protectionism in response to unfair trade practices by America's largest trading partners. China will keep its doors wide open, Xi said. Pursuing protectionism is like locking oneself in a dark room. While wind and rain may be kept outside, that dark room will also block light and air. There was skepticism about Xi's promise of keeping China's domestic economy open. Foreign trade and investment in China have long faced considerable restrictions and controls, but the Chinese leader's speech was nonetheless met with praise from the global political and corporate elite. It was a step in the right direction. Xi told the champions of global commerce what they wanted to hear, that the walls of protectionism were not closing in around them, that there would still be room to expand their trade, investment, and finance, that China would show the way forward. Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, summed up the mood in his introduction of the Chinese president. In a world marked by great uncertainty and volatility, he said, the international community is looking to China. The world's discontent towards the United States under President Trump, combined with China's elevated international standing, animated sentiments that one superpower will replace the other. But this perspective misses the bigger picture. China wields considerable global power, but its rise to the commanding heights of the global economy and world affairs is not preordained. If America remains deeply politically fractured and continues to look on multilateralism with disdain, this will open opportunities for China to extend its influence overseas. The COVID-19 pandemic may also reshape the global economy and geopolitics in the coming years. But we will not be entering a future with China in charge anytime soon. China will not wield ubiquitous and overwhelming global power simply by the inertia of the sheer size of its home market and economic engagement abroad. Its potential evolution into a global superpower, with a deep presence and strong influence over economic, political, military, and culture abroad, will rather be conditioned by how China behaves towards the rest of the world and how the world responds. The outside world wrestles with a paradox when it comes to China. While many countries hold conflicting political values and security positions with China, they are still eager to derive economic benefits from the relationship. It is hard to miss the immediate economic attraction of China. Responsible for some 30% of global economic growth for much of the past decade, China has the largest economy in the world by purchasing power measures. While its growth is slowing, China's economic size alone, particularly its burgeoning middle class, will still draw high levels of foreign trade and investment for the foreseeable future. China is also the largest trading partner for well over 125 countries, a major foreign investor across a variety of industries, and a leading provider of overseas finance for developing countries. For decades, many countries around the world avoided confronting these political differences with China. In the United States, Western Europe, and East Asia, the assumption was made that trade and investment would lead to economic and political liberalization in China. But the resolve of China's political authoritarianism and state capitalism is now clear. Engagement has integrated China into the global economy and world affairs, but at the same time, it brought on new challenges as Beijing's authoritarian politics and state-led capitalism stretched out into the world. This book shows that the political differences and security tensions between many countries around the world and China are still present, and in some cases, larger than before. But for developed and developing countries alike, there is also recognition that engagement with China can produce strategic vulnerabilities to their own competitiveness and foreign policy and defense autonomy. Despite the drawing power of China's economic edifice of market size and consumer buying power, what were once latent concerns with how China restricts and controls its economy at home have grown considerably and expanded to how China engages in trade, investment, technology, politics, and security beyond its borders.